Radio continuing. Let's go.
During the next 45 minutes, you will have the opportunity to hear America's First Lady in Civil Rights. So settle back, relax, and listen to Oklahoma's most controversial show. A visit with Clara Luper is exciting, thrilling, educational, and relevant to today's issues. A visit with Clara Luper tells it like it is. And now, here's Clara Luper telling it like it is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy good evening to you wherever you are. This is the program that you have waited all week for. This is the Clara Luper Show, and Clara Luper has something in store for you today that you shall never forget. Today's program is being brought to you by Wonder Bread. And wherever you are now, I know you're thinking about going shopping. Yes, continue to think about it. And when you go into your favorite grocery store, be sure and go over and get some Wonder Bread, because Wonder Bread is a bread that really makes you grow. Who is the most beautiful black young lady in Oklahoma City? Who is the most beautiful black young lady in Oklahoma City? I do not know the answer, but you do. If you know a beautiful black young lady between the ages of 18, at least she'll be 18 by August, would you have her call Clara Luper at 424-43-4949? That's my telephone number, Garfield 43949. Because the Miss Black Oklahoma City Beauty Pageant is coming up. And for the last 3 years, Oklahoma City girls have not won that contest. It has gone to Guthrie, Oklahoma, Muskogee, Oklahoma, and last year it went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. But we've got to bring it back because we have some beautiful young ladies in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and we want these young ladies in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma to get what is coming to them. And incidentally, there will be a meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock at 1111 Northeast 43rd Street for those of you that are interested in the Miss Black Oklahoma Beauty Pageant. And you may call me out here today at KFJL here in Oklahoma City. Some people from all over Oklahoma City will be attending the beautiful Miss Black Oklahoma Beauty Pageant. And among those will be Attorney John Wilkerson of Oklahoma City. And incidentally, he's running for mayor of the city. Attorney Pat Brogans, Mrs. Collier from the Collier Resale Shop at 403 North Durland, and incidentally, that shop is open from 9:30 to 5:30. Dr. A.L. Dow, the only place in Oklahoma City that's close to you where you can go in, and if you're on welfare, you can have your children's eyes tested and won't have to pay 1 penny. Why don't you look at your children's grade cards, and if they don't look right because maybe they cannot see, why don't you go to Dr. A.L. Dow's at 401 North Durland? I'm telling you that because I want you to know what's happening. Sometimes when we think of Miss Black Oklahoma, we've got to think in terms of places where Miss Black Oklahoma can go. Let's think in terms of Handysack at 2700 North Kelly. This store is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the management say they would just love to see those of you that are beautiful and black and beautiful and white and beautiful and red to come by the Handysack. Mrs. Carrie Ford sends congratulations to the young contestants in the 1974 Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. And I have a thank you note and a congratulation note from Senator E. Melvin Porter to the Miss Black Oklahoma contestant. I have some hot stories for you today. Thank you for your many telephone calls and for your letters and your telegrams that you sent me last week telling me how much you enjoyed the show. Well, if you enjoyed the show last week, you will love this week's show because I have something that you've been waiting all of your life to hear. I have some young people in this studio today that is out of sight. And speaking of being out of sight, so many times in this world, we do not stop and say thank you to people. We do not stop and say thank you to the people that we love so very much. And many of you young people that are out there today listening, when have you said thank you to your mother? When have you done something special for your father? You know, I like to speak for parents because if my children have any flowers to give me, don't wait until I die and put a big bundle of flowers on my casket. If you have any flowers for me, give them to me today. And I know there are parents all over this city that are very fortunate in that they have young children who are giving them their flowers today. We come so many times in a point in our lives that we have to face the reality of death. A few weeks ago, Fifth Street Baptist Church lost one of its faithful members, Mrs. Horton. I told you about her on this radio program. But today I have invited her son here, Elton Horton. And I have asked Elton to read a tribute that he has written to his mother. It's all yours, Elton. Elton is ready.
Your flowers were a sign of love and beauty. Your prayers were an extension of yourself. Your cards and other goods were just that, goodness from your heart. My mother was like each of these. She truly was symbolic of love and beauty. She always managed to extend herself to others when you would think no more was there. Something else always came from her heart. Nonetheless, flowers fade. Yes, flowers fade, withers, and die. But the expression shown by others will always be there. And this is how we feel about our mother. We feel her presence very much within us. You see, that sweet, kind woman, Mrs. Essie Mae Horton, was an educator. No, she did not receive a PhD, nor a BA or BS degrees on this earth. In fact, she didn't even graduate from high school. Yet, I tell you, she was an educator. She was and is a student of God. Her concern for mankind and her faith in God earned her a well-deserved rest. And it is the world that is at a loss if it cannot feel her presence. She spent many dark hours in this world, but God has awakened her and welcomed her into his kingdom. And it is there that she has received her degrees. For you see, not only was she a mother, not only was she a wife, a sister, an auntie, a cousin, and a grandmother, she was a great humanitarian. Yes, she was my mother.
Elton, that is beautiful. I understand that you're going to set up some kind of scholarship at Fifth Street Baptist Church for your mother. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Ms. Luper.
It was an unusual scholarship as I looked at it, because most of the time the scholarships that are given to young people, but you intend for this scholarship to go to what age group of people?
Well, without really discriminating against any particular person, we're aiming at an age group of 40 and over. Let's say the adult that perhaps in their day the opportunity was not available, that's available to us. And for someone around like my mother's age, who, although if the opportunity was available, would perhaps been able to decide her own direction, but during the time was not able to do this.
So you're going to set up, you have been very successful, your family, and you are now going to set up a scholarship in Fifth Street Baptist Church for the adults over 40 in order that they can continue their education.
That's correct.
Thank you, and may God bless you, Elton.
Thank you.
This portion of our program was brought to you by the Public Market Grocery Store. Have you bought your groceries and your Wonder Bread? If not, I would urge you to go to the Public Market Grocery Store located at 311 South Klein. Those of you that would like to stretch your food stamp dollars, I want you to rush to the Public Market Grocery Store. The entire Public Market family is there to greet you. Be sure and tell them, though, you heard about it on the Clara Luper Show. Death struck in Oklahoma City this week. Mr. J.D. Fairman of 4212 Northeast 19th Street, services were held for him this morning at 11 a.m. at the Fairview Baptist Church, with Roth Funeral Home in charge. Mr. John Henry Joseph, 119 Northeast 16th Street at the New Zion Baptist Church, his funeral was held today at 11 a.m. Probably no death has struck the east side of Oklahoma City so swiftly as the death of LaDonna Hardin, who lives at 1723 Northeast 18th Street here in Oklahoma City. Her funeral will be Monday at 1 p.m. at the New Hope Baptist Church. Her body will not be open during the funeral services. but it will lie in state Sunday from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. It will lie in state at the church from 11:45 to 12:45. LaDonna Hardin was only 18 years old, but she lived life to its fullest. Many of you will remember her as the Miss Black teenage of over a year ago. You will remember her charming smile. Yes, LaDonna Hardin of 1723 Northeast 18th Street died last week. Her funeral will be Monday at 1 p.m. I have a thank you note from her mother. Her mother would like to say thanks to all of you that have understood, to our classmates, to the members of the New Hope Baptist Church and friends. Just a thank you from LaDonna Hardin's mother. LaDonna Hardin's body is at the Roth Funeral Home here in Oklahoma City. Mrs. Catherine Rounder of 415 Scott Street in Dale City, Oklahoma, died, and her service is now pending with the Temple Funeral Home. Just a few minutes ago, we received the news that Bob Reisner, the son of General Reisner, many of you will remember him as a POD, died. He had had flu, went into the hospital and went into other complications, and he died just a few minutes ago. He's the husband of Nancy Reisner, and incidentally, Bob is about 25 years old. We express our sympathy to the entire families. Today's program is being brought to you by Portwood Williams Jewelry Store, Heads and Tails. Now, during the time that you are visiting with me, Calvin has a suggestion that he will tell you about in just a minute. But I have a good suggestion for you. I want you to go to Portwood Williams at 1904 Northeastern because they are selling earrings today. $2 earrings for 59 cents, $1 incense for 50 cents, and any ring that's on display in that store. If you go in there right now and tell them that Clara Luper sent you, you may have that ring for $1. You may call Portwood Williams and tell them that you are on your way. Calvin, you had a suggestion a few minutes ago. We know Port Woods is located at 1904 Northeastern. What about it?
Right, and in order to get to Port Woods, I hope you have to drive your car, and in your car you have the FM radio. And I was just thinking how good it would be if everybody out there now that's listening to a visit with Clara Luper, when she gets to a part of, when we get to a part of the program that you like or you don't like, just blow your horn.
Well, I know the horns will be blowing out there, Calvin.
That's right.
Calvin, I am still thinking about what you told me. You know, one day I came home from school and I was checking papers, and I told you that I was checking Fritz Lehman's paper, and you got all excited. Why did you get so excited about Fritz?
Well, because I've called him Fast Fritz for about the last 2 years that I've been reading the sports pages. And I believe I'm right. Fritz is a swimmer with the Kermac Swim Club.
That's true.
And he's one of the people that has helped make the Kermac Swim Club one of the top swim clubs in the Southwest and also the nation. But more than that, the people in the swim club, a lot of the sports writers and everything, are looking forward to Fritz qualifying for the Olympics. Now, these are rumors, and it's really a pleasure to be able to shake the hand of hopefully one of the fastest swimmers coming up since Spitz, but especially that you have the privilege of teaching him, and that he has the privilege of going to school under you. But it's my pleasure to meet you, Fritz.
Fritz, I know everybody's smiling here, and incidentally, I have invited both candidates for the school board election to be with me today, and I want you to call a friend and tell them that the school board candidates will be here, and I'm expecting both of them. I'm expecting that, and I don't know what's going to happen. Fritz, how in the world are you?
I'm great today. I just feel good.
You're really feeling good today.
A little nervous, yeah.
Oh, a little nervous. I can imagine that, and I understand that all your classmates from John Marshall are visiting with us today.
Probably true. You told him to.
Sure, I told him to visit with us because I was going to have you as my distinguished guest. Fritz, I know that you are interested in swimming, but I want to know, when did you start swimming?
I started swimming when I was about 8 years old, more or less, give or take a few months. But I really didn't start swimming seriously until I was about 10 years old, so it's only been about 6 years.
About 6 years you started swimming. Why did you start swimming, of all of the sports?
Well, swimming is, I think, one of the most difficult sports, and I think it's the most challenging. Anybody can play football and get out there and get in somebody's way.
Anybody can play football, but anybody cannot swim.
In my opinion,
All right.
anybody can play football, yes.
I can see Lehigh and Britt and all those guys getting on you when you get back to
I'm sure
school.
they'll probably get on my back, but I think that swimming is one of the most difficult and one of the most challenging sports there is. Not anybody can just get in the water and be a good swimmer, but a lot of people who really don't have a lot of talent, they just are big, can get in a football game and play football.
Well, I understand that your father's a major. Is that right?
That's true.
All right. Now, he was stationed at one time down at Fort Sill.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
have any experiences as a child that you can remember as it relates to the water?
Well, the way I learned to swim was that I hated the water, so they had to get me in it, and they had to stick me in it, and they had to keep me in the water. They wouldn't let me get out. But eventually, I liked it so much they couldn't get me out of the water. I used to go at the beginning of the pool and come out when it closed. They couldn't get me out.
So they would just take you and throw you in the pool?
That's about right.
And oh, I bet that was exciting. I can see you in that pool. All right, now, and when you were in Lawton, did you swim with any particular group?
I swam with the Lawton YMCA.
Lawton YMCA.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's great. And when did you come to Oklahoma City? Now, when you were at Lawton, did you have to compete with the Kerr-McGee Swimming Club?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How did you come out?
Well, not at that time. I couldn't do anything against the Kerr-McGee Swim Club. I mean, we just hated them. The Kerr-McGee Swim Club was so much better than we were. We just despised them. We couldn't stand to even be around them. We wouldn't buy gasoline from the Kerr-McGee Swim Club or the gas stations. We wouldn't buy anything that had Kerr-McGee on it.
And then when you came to Oklahoma City, how did you become involved with Kerr-McGee if you didn't like Kerr-McGee when you were in Lawton?
When you come to Oklahoma City, that's just Kerr-McGee is the place to go. That's just the best. That's the best you can do. You can go to the Y, but it's a step up to come up to Kerr-McGee. It's a prestige thing among swimmers.
Prestige? Can anyone go up to Kerr-McGee?
Anybody can go to Kerr-McGee.
Regardless to race, creed, or color?
Yes, ma'am. Anybody. I've seen Jewish people, Indians, anything.
Anything can go to Kerr-McGee and swim. Anything can go to Kerr-McGee and swim. I mean, suppose you don't know how to swim.
They'll teach you.
They'll teach you how to swim. How much do they charge you?
I don't know that.
You don't know how much they charge you. Well, I'm sure that Kerr-McGee people wouldn't want you to tell everybody how much they charge before you get up there.
Scare 'em off.
Right. All right. Now, tell me, what have you done as a swimmer with the Kerr-McGee family?
That's a long. It's been 6 years. I can't think how to sum it up, but most of all, since I've been in high school, I'm high school state champion as a sophomore.
You were high school state champion.
As a sophomore.
Does that mean you beat everybody in the state of Oklahoma swimming as a sophomore?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I was second when I was a freshman. A senior beat me.
A senior beat you when you were a freshman. Okay, that's pretty good.
I was rated 4th in the nation in the 100 and 200 backstroke just a summer ago.
Now, when you say 100 and 200 backstrokes.
I'm talking about meters.
Okay, you're talking about that. How long does it take you to swim, say, a football field?
A football field? Probably about 50 seconds.
About 50 seconds. Oh, my gracious. 50 seconds. Calvin, what do you think about that? Would you like to get in? I would like for somebody out there that can beat Fritz swimming to call me at once. One day Fritz walked in class and he told me nobody in Oklahoma could beat him swimming. I said, okay, Fritz, I'm going to find someone, and I haven't found anyone yet. If you can beat Fritz swimming, call me here at KFJL.
Well, there's no doubt that I couldn't even get in the water with Fritz, 50 seconds. It'd take me that long to plan on diving, But, Fritz, one thing that I've always been quite concerned about is what kind of conditioning do you go through in order to get ready for a meet, or do you spend a lot of time practicing during the off season?
There never is an off season. There isn't in swimming. There is no off season. You swim year round. It's just more in the summertime than it is in the wintertime.
Right. During the summer, that's when you have most of your competition, right?
Right. In the summertime, when I was 14, I was working out 6 hours a day. When I was 14.
6 hours a day. How do you fit that in your schedule and go to school?
Well, that's during the summertime.
Okay.
During the wintertime, you can go about 2 hours in the morning and about 2 hours at night.
You mean to tell me you go swimming 2 hours every morning?
Well, you don't come every morning. You come as many mornings as you can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which gets kind of rough after a while.
About how many mornings do you get up?
I try to make at least 2 a week.
2 a week. You get up at 5 o'clock and swim to 7 and then get to school?
I try, yes.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, after you finish school, you go to another pool and go for another 2 hours.
Same pool, but it's just at nighttime.
Pool?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. If someone was interested in swimming, how would they go about joining the Kerr-McGee Swim Club? I think that would be the best place to compete against you because of the pool size and the regulation size pool there, right?
Just to become a member of the Kermit Swim Club, you just look up my coach. His name is Jim Brimer.
Jim Brimer?
Yes.
Okay.
And just call him up and ask him tell him what you want to do, and he'll tell you where to go and what to do, and he'll tell you when to be there. And if you don't know how to swim, he'll teach how to swim. And if you do know how to swim, he'll stick you in the right place and let you work out with the rest of us.
Fritz, did you know that when you said you started swimming in Lawton, I wanted to swim in Lawton. I went to Lawton and walked to Lawton to swim. And I asked the man to swim, and he told me I couldn't swim because I was black. And I wanted to tell him that I can swim like a rock. But he didn't let me swim, and I wanted to put my black feet in that white water, or that light water, whatever color that water was, but he wouldn't let me. And the thing about it, Fritz, if he had let me, I couldn't have made it anyway, because I don't do well in water. I sure hate he made that mistake. All he had to do was to tell me, okay, Clara, go and swim. I would have said, thank you, sir, and walked on back. But now, what about your future? I know other day we beat Putnam City in swimming.
That was great, yes. I got some Putnam City friends listening to this right now.
So you really beat Putnam City, and you walked out with the championship. Who's next on your list?
Monday we swim Northwest Classen, and Thursday we go for the Mid-State Championship.
Now, when you go to Northwest Classen, do you think you will beat Northwest Classen?
No doubt.
No doubt in your mind?
No doubt in my mind.
Tell me about that. Tell me one time that you were swimming against someone in a contest and you put on a cap. Tell me about that, Fritz.
I was at All-City last year. I put on an Army hat and a T-shirt, I think that's what it was, yes. It was in the finals, and I put on an Army hat and a T-shirt, and I won. And I was just messing around. I'm sure they didn't appreciate it too much. And
you plan to do something like that at the mid-state meet?
I might. You never know till you get in the water what you're
Fritz,
going to do.
you really sound cocky now. I haven't seen you swim, but I've read in the paper about you now. What is your favorite style? I mean, which style are you
I'm a backstroker.
And you're best at the backstroke.
What about your future, Fritz? Where do you go from here?
Well, I'd like to go to college and swim all through college.
I understand that some coaches have been looking at you. About how many offers have you had?
This year I haven't had too many because it's early. Mm. Like my freshman and sophomore year, I got a bunch of letters from, Southwest and Army Academy and places like that. It's still early. I'm only a junior. I mean, I got a long ways to go.
You're only a junior. Well, what about the Olympics? Are you really keen for that, or will you be representing the state of Oklahoma, or however you go about representing folk at the Olympics?
If I make it, I'll be going for the USA. Mm-hmm. But in '76, I'll just be a senior. I'll just be getting out of high school, which is really young. A lot of people don't make it when they just get out of high school. But in '80, I'll be just a senior in college, which would be just perfect. I'll just be right at the top, and that would be the perfect time for me to make it.
Now, you went down to Texas about 2 weeks ago, and you were down there swimming. Tell me how you came out in Texas against those college swimmers.
Well, I beat all the college swimmers, but I got beat by one high school swimmer who was almost one of the really best in the country, one of the best in the world for that matter. I beat all the college swimmers, which was, it's really great to beat the college swimmer because they look down at you like you're nothing, and it's really good to beat the big guys.
Well, Fritz, I'm telling you, I'm still looking for someone. All of you swimmers out there, would you call me here at KFJL and tell me you can beat Fritz swimming? I would like to see you get into the water with Fritz. You Putnam City people, you beat us in basketball, but you sure didn't beat us in swimming. Congratulations to John Marshall.
What about individual awards that you won during the past 2 or 3 years? How many different awards have you won?
I couldn't begin to count. The biggest one I've got was I was outstanding 13 to 14-year-old swimmer, which was just last year, and I got that one. That was probably the biggest thing I've gotten in quite a while. But otherwise, I went to Omaha, Nebraska, and I won High Point there, which I came almost like 12 trophies or something or other. I can't remember.
Well, honestly, then, do you think that in Oklahoma, in the mid-state, this is coming up, the mid-state competition is coming up, is there a swimmer that you think could beat you in the backstroke? If on a good day, everybody's having a good day, do you think you can
including myself?
Including yourself?
No, sir, I don't think there is.
And what did you say? I didn't hear you.
On a good day, if I'm swimming good and everybody else is swimming good, I don't think there's anybody could beat me. No.
Well, right on.
How about your father? Can the major swim?
He's taught me how to swim. He used to just kill me. He won't get in the water with me anymore, though.
Really? You mean to tell me the major won't even get in the water with you? I believe the major can beat you swimming.
Well,
are these getting old?
Are these swim meets open now?
Anybody can come.
Okay. Well, I'm going to invite everybody out there to go see Fast Fritz, because the way the guy's talking, and from the amount of awards that he has to be good, and I look forward to seeing him, and instead of reading about him, I'm going to go out there and take a look at it. And good luck, Fritz.
Fritz, one more question and I'll let you go. I know a swimmer your age, you're a junior now in high school and be finishing next year. Are you very interested in the young ladies, or would a young lady have to be an extremely good swimmer to catch up with you?
No. As a matter of fact, she wouldn't.
Oh,
I've had lots of girlfriends who weren't swimmers. Or either that or the ones that are swimmers are not very good swimmers. Those are the best ones anyway, because they don't pay that much attention to swimming, so that way I get more time for myself.
Thank you, and I'm sure that you are proud to be with me today, and just think I won't see you until Monday. And how are you doing in your human relations courses?
I'm having a lot of fun.
Good. Thank you, and thank you so much for visiting with me. And now, here's Calvin.
The Custom Cut Barbershop, 1012 North Walnut. No matter how you wear your hair, go by the Custom Cut Barbershop and get the most becoming style for you. Specializing in afro blowout relaxer, facials, and featuring a special treatment for your natural. Worry no more about your hair breaking off and being dry. At Custom Cut, you will be satisfied. Melvin Carr, the operator there, guarantees it.
Last week, I told you about an interview that I had with E. Melvin Porter. These are turbulent times, stated E. Melvin Porter. But during these turbulent times, certain biological things have to happen. For example, you must go to the restroom. Things have changed all over this country. Things have changed, but one thing is sure. If you go downtown and stay long enough, you will have to go to the restroom. And this was a subject of E. Melvin Porter's press conference this week. Even E. Melvin Porter tells me that a couple came up to him in the new courthouse and asked him about the restroom, and it was an emergency for this old couple. And Porter said, okay, I'll find you a restroom. He went to one restroom, and it was locked, and he went to another one, and it was locked, and another one, and it was locked. And then he walked in, and he said, what's wrong? All of these restrooms are locked. I have a couple here that need to go to the restroom immediately. Nature must take its course. And then they told Senator Porter that these restrooms were reserved for the employees of the county building. At that time, Porter thought about these are turbulent times, but during these turbulent times, I've got to blow my top. And he blew his top. He became angry and immediately rushed out to the state senate and started drafting a bill which will state that all public buildings' restrooms must be open to the public. Well, what do you think? Do you think that if a man goes downtown and needs to go to the restroom, whatever he needs to do in that restroom, do you think he has a right to do it? Senator Porter say he has that right, and Senator Porter say he will fight to the last drop of, yes, in order that you will have the right to go to the restroom. E. Melvin Porter spoke out this week on the restrooms. Call it the restrooms, call it the toilets, or whatever you want. But if it's left to E. Melvin Porter, if you're downtown and you want to go to the restroom, you will go to the restroom in the new building. Now, I don't know what the county commissioners, you down there taking care of business, Porter say you better open those toilets. I think it would be cheaper to open those toilets and leave Porter alone, because if he gets a law, wouldn't that be something to see the county commissioner and the county superintendent and all those people going to jail for not opening the toilets? Boy, history will really be made. History is going to be made today because I will have as a guest one of the candidates for the school board election, and I know you have some questions, and if you do, you will feel free to call here. I also have a teacher here from U.S. Grant who does not have a swimmer out there that can swim like my swimmer from John Marshall High School. I want to know about that U.S. Grant swimming team. Tell me about your team. I know you have a team.
Good afternoon, Ms. Luper. You know, each time Ms. Luper has a winner, she always wants to call Mrs. Hunter and ask her about U.S. Grant. I'm just going to congratulate Fritz. I'm so happy that he is a fast swimmer. Now, I'm not going to try to put someone, U.S. Grant, against Fritz, but we doing pretty nicely out there. But I think I'm going to learn to swim myself. Then I know what U.S. Grant can do.
Okay, so in other words, U.S. Grant does not have anybody out there that compete with Fritz. Just tell the people so they'll know.
Well, now, Ms. Luper, as of today, shall we speak presently this moment?
This moment?
Well, as of this moment.
Fritz
no,
but
just, Fritz, we're going to catch up.
Fritz is just a junior. You're going to catch up with Fritz, and he's going 50. Oh, you're going to catch up with Fritz. That will be the day. And catching up, I know you want to say something about that Miss Black Oklahoma page.
Well, I certainly do, Mrs. Luper. I want to say to the radio audience out there and the young teenagers. If you're interested in participating in the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant, be sure and call 424-3949, or you may call here at 478-2100. Let me give you this number again, and I'll be waiting for your telephone calls. If you would like to get an application, call 478-2100 for Miss Black Oklahoma pageant. I'll be listening and waiting for your call.
Speaking about the waiting, I know you've been waiting to hear from your candidates for the Oklahoma City School Board. I know that you are interested in this election, and this is probably the top election of the year. I talked to Reverend Brown and asked him to be my distinguished guest today. Reverend Brown told me that he was too busy and he did not have time to come here and visit with Clara Luper and all of you. Well, Reverend Brown is a Methodist minister, and I'm sure that he's busy. There are some questions that we would like to ask. I don't know whether the Methodists still have board meetings on Monday nights, but I wonder if they do, and if so, how would the minister have time to represent the population of Oklahoma on Monday nights? Well, the minister is not here, and some of you know the minister, and you call Reverend Brown and tell him he should have been visiting with Clara Luper, because here is a candidate who's accepted my invitation. And how in the world are you, Mr. Leo Heiss?
I'm just fine, Ms. Luper. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, I want to thank you for visiting with me today, because I wanted some questions. There are some questions that I want to ask you as a member of the Board of Education, because the Board of Education in the Oklahoma City school system belongs to all of us, and I want to know the people personally that represent me. Why in the world would anyone want to become a member of the Board of Education?
Because it's such a challenge. I think this is one of the greatest challenges that we